The house smelled faintly of lemon polish and old wood, the kind of scent that clings to a place kept alive by one pair of hands. Dorothy paused in the doorway, clutching a manila envelope so tightly her knuckles whitened. Inside sat the bank papers, proof that the savings she and her late husband had guarded for decades were gone. Not squandered, given. To Michael. To Amanda. To their beginning. The clock ticked behind her, steady and loud, a reminder that silence was her constant companion since Harold's passing. She looked at the framed wedding photo on the mantel, Harold grinning wide, her veil floating in a wind that had caught them both by surprise. They had built a life brick by brick, meal by meal, sacrifice by sacrifice. Now, she told herself, it was time to hand those bricks over. Dorothy smoothed her skirt and whispered as though Harold could still hear her, "They'll be happy. That's what matters." The sound of laughter from the driveway broke her trance. Michael's deep, easy voice, Amanda's sharp giggle, the rhythm of youth, untouchable and confident. Dorothy stepped outside, forcing her smile into place. She watched them climb from the car, Amanda's hand resting on Michael's arm with the practiced certainty of someone who believed the world would always make room for her. Dorothy lifted the envelope like an offering. "I signed the transfer. It's all settled." Michael kissed her cheek quickly, distracted, already moving past her. Amanda took the envelope, her smile sweet but fleeting, eyes gleaming at the weight of what she held. For Dorothy, it was more than paper. It was her past, her security, her love, handed over without condition. And for Amanda, it was only a beginning. The night after Dorothy handed over the papers, the house felt smaller. The ticking clock seemed louder, each time a reminder that she had given away not only money but a piece of herself. She sat by the window with a cup of tea, watching headlights pass, waiting for the call she hoped would come. A thank you. A simple word. But the phone stayed silent. The next morning, Amanda arrived unannounced. Dorothy, still in her robe, opened the door to find Amanda holding a glossy binder of wedding plans. Pages spilled with photographs of gowns, centerpieces, venues that glittered like palaces. Dorothy invited her in, but Amanda didn't sit, she paced, talking quickly, like a storm blowing through. "There's so much to do, Dorothy," she said, flipping pages. "The florist requires half the payment now, and the reception hall is pressing for confirmation. You understand, it's about appearances. Michael deserves the very best." Dorothy listened, nodding, but each word struck her like a tap on glass, testing its strength. Amanda never asked if Dorothy could help. She assumed. When Amanda finally paused, Dorothy asked softly, "Do you think Michael will be happy with all this?" Amanda glanced up, almost surprised by the question. "Happiness is built, Dorothy. With the right things, the right people, the right look. He trusts me to make it happen." Dorothy's chest tightened. The binder snapped shut with a sharp clap, and Amanda slipped it back under her arm as though sealing a deal. "Don't worry," Amanda added with a bright, practiced smile. "We'll take care of you. After the wedding, things will be different." Dorothy held on to that word, different, rolling it in her mind like a stone with sharp edges. She didn't yet know how, but something in the tone told her it wasn't a promise. It was a warning. The reception hall glittered with chandeliers, crystal vases already set along the tables for a wedding that had not yet come. Dorothy stood at the back during the rehearsal dinner, unnoticed, a quiet figure in a sea of chatter. Michael laughed easily among friends, Amanda orchestrated the evening with sharp gestures, and Dorothy, who had written every check, felt herself shrinking into the wallpaper. Later, in the quiet hallway outside the restrooms, Amanda found her. The bride's perfume was thick, floral, almost suffocating. She stepped closer, her voice low and steady, as if rehearsed. "Dorothy," she said, smoothing her silk dress, "if you really want to give us the best gift, you'll disappear. After tomorrow, Michael and I need to build our life without interruptions. He won't say it, but I will. It's time to let go." Dorothy blinked, the words striking harder than any slap. "Disappear?" she whispered, searching Amanda's face for a hint of jest. But Amanda's eyes were cool, unflinching, a mirror polished to cruelty. "You've done enough," Amanda continued, her smile practiced for crowds but stripped of warmth now. "Be proud of that. Then step aside." For a moment Dorothy couldn't breathe. The hum of voices from the banquet room muffled, the walls seemed to tilt. She thought of Harold, of the nights they had whispered dreams across the kitchen table. All those years, all those savings, all handed over to be erased from her own son's life. But then, beneath the ache, something steadied. Amanda brushed past her, heels clicking on marble, leaving Dorothy in the shadows. She gripped the banister for balance, her pulse fierce in her ears. Disappear? No. She would not vanish. She would be seen, on her own terms. Dorothy sat at her kitchen table with the phone in her hand, staring at the number of the reception hall scribbled on a notepad. Her thumb hovered, trembling. Every instinct told her to keep the peace, to swallow the sting of Amanda's words, to play the quiet mother who fades politely into the background. But Amanda's voice still echoed, "Disappear." She dialed. "Evening, this is Crescent Hall," came the manager's cheerful tone. Dorothy swallowed. "This is Dorothy Klein, the mother of the groom. I'm calling to cancel the reception booking." A pause. The clatter of keys on a keyboard. "Cancel? But the deposit." "I know," Dorothy interrupted, her voice firmer now. "It was my deposit. I want it refunded directly to me." She hung up before guilt could stop her. Her hands shook, but not from fear, from something that felt dangerously close to freedom. The next day, Michael appeared at her door, red-faced. "What did you do?" he demanded. "Amanda's furious. The hall says everything's off." "Do you have any idea what that looks like?" Dorothy met his anger with a calm she barely recognized. "I do. It looks like the truth. You've built this wedding on money you didn't earn. On me." Michael's eyes flickered, boyish and wounded for a flash, then hardened. "You don't understand, Mom. What Amanda wants has nothing to do with what's right," Dorothy said, her voice rising now. "You let her tell me to vanish, Michael. You stood there and let her erase me. I won't pay for my own disappearance." The words landed heavy. Michael said nothing, jaw tight, before turning away. Dorothy closed the door gently behind him, her heart pounding. For the first time in years, she felt the ground shifting under her feet, not against her, but for her. The law office smelled faintly of leather and ink, its walls lined with shelves of contracts that had ended wars between families. Dorothy sat at one end of the long oak table, her hands folded neatly, though her heart thundered like a drum. Michael and Amanda entered together, Amanda leading with the poise of a queen expecting tribute. Across from them, Margaret, the attorney, adjusted her glasses. "We're here to discuss property rights," she began, sliding a file toward Dorothy. "Mrs. Klein holds 35% ownership of the house purchased last year." Amanda froze, her confidence cracking for the first time. "That's impossible." The deed is clear," Margaret cut in. Dorothy's contribution was not a gift. It was structured legally. She has full authority to sell her share or demand repayment. Silence spread like a stain. Michael shifted in his chair, pale, but Amanda's voice sharpened to a blade. You wouldn't ruin your own son's marriage." Dorothy lifted her gaze, steady now, no tremor left. "I didn't ruin anything, Amanda. I built. I sacrificed. And you tried to erase me." Her voice carried, calm but piercing. "I will not disappear. Not from the house Harold and I paid for, not from the family I gave my life to." Michael's lips parted, a plea unspoken, but Amanda slammed her hand on the table. "You're bluffing." Dorothy leaned forward. "Try me." The words hung in the room like a thunderclap. For the first time Amanda looked small, her certainty stripped away. Michael lowered his eyes, shame flooding his face. In that stillness, Dorothy felt it, the shift from victim to author of her own story. She had drawn the line. And it would not be crossed. Winter thawed slowly that year, each patch of melting snow revealing soil dark and rich with promise. Dorothy tended her small garden behind the house, gloved hands pushing bulbs into the earth. She hadn't done this in years, too busy saving, giving, adjusting her life around others. Now, the rhythm of the soil belonged to her alone. Michael came by sometimes, quieter now, humbled. He no longer asked for money, instead, he carried groceries, fixed a broken step, or sat with her over coffee in silence that felt truer than words. Amanda appeared rarely, and when she did, her sharpness had dulled. Once, she even muttered, "I was wrong," the words clumsy, foreign in her mouth. Dorothy had nodded, nothing more. Forgiveness, she'd decided, was not a gift to be rushed but a seed that might, in time, choose to grow. The house, legally hers in part and emotionally hers entirely, no longer felt like a burden. Each creak of its wooden beams was Harold's voice, each shaft of light through the curtains a reminder of all she had built, all she had survived. That evening, Dorothy lit a single candle at the kitchen table and set out one plate for supper. She didn't feel lonely. The quiet was hers now, chosen and sacred. She thought of Amanda's words, "disappear," and felt a strange, fierce smile spread across her face. Dorothy had not vanished. She had stepped into herself, visible at last, unafraid to occupy the space she had earned. Outside, dusk painted the garden in violet and gold. Dorothy leaned back, let the candlelight warm her face, and whispered into the stillness, "I'm here." And for the first time in years, the words felt like both an answer and a beginning.